Thank you so much for staying with us here on the AM Report. So you may have noticed yesterday that there was a lot of traffic at Kaizer Chiefs. The Naturena club has been doing some business, and much to the relief of their fans. You'll remember that last season they could not sign any player, so they have released some, and they have brought in some talented players as well. And Keegan Dolly will be regarded as their marquee signing in this particular transfer window. But one of those who have now left the club is a man who has been with Chiefs for a decade, Willard Katsande, who is now joining me via our phone line. Willard, good morning, and thank you so much for your time. A decade, since 2011 you've been at Kaizer Chiefs. It has now come to an end. Your immediate feelings when you found out that the contract is not going to be extended?
Thank you very much for having me here. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, South Africa. Yeah, thank you. You know, like you said, it's been a decade at Kaizer Chiefs. You know, it's not all the players who stay at the Kaizer Chiefs a caliber of a team to left the legacy. I left there, and it has been a gorgeous journey for me. Coming from Zim, like nobody, and you could see in the way I was signed, I was just a bench warmer at Ajax, and I arrived, and by that time Nengo Masha was aging, and they were trying to get somebody to fill in those shoes. You know, to fill a Nengo Masha's shoes is not something easy. But when I started, I couldn't even look at that, because it's something you don't even want to look at it, because the journey of Nengo Masha, we all know how that journey was. So I stood my ground. I did what I did. And I'm proud of myself. It's just that sometimes, you know, in a relationship, it's always painful and emotional when both parties you agree to part ways in a good way. Obviously, without even fighting, it's always painful. Do you understand?
Yeah. Let's talk about when you decide to part ways. We were under the impression that a new offer was on the cards, a contract extension of sorts. What happened? Where was the breakdown in the negotiations?
Obviously, you know, because, you know, to be honest, it's like it's bringing in new blood, and they are looking at a long term, and that's why things didn't go according to the plan. But otherwise, yes, there was negotiations regarding to get a last dance. But obviously, you know, sometimes it's contract talks. Sometimes it becomes successful. Sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, it was a matter of agreeing two parties to say no.
Was it a case of you perhaps wanting what they were not willing to offer?
Not really about me, because, you know, my job is just to play, just to agree. Contract is just a paper. My job is just to play. Obviously, they recruited more players because of we didn't have a time, like you said, to sign players last season. So obviously they recruited players and say this is what we're trying to do, and they showed me the long term, and also they said they want to fit me in the system, and they wanna empower me in the future to come back and repay Kaizer Chiefs, since I've been there for a long time, of which I sit down and accept to say, you know what, sometimes I still want to play, but at the end of the day, look at it in the angle of the club where they're coming from, and what you've discussed, and they've been good to me. So I said, okay, now it makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna meet them in a couple of days and see how we're gonna iron it out. But for me to say I'm gonna go back in the Amakhosi colors to play again. I think I can call it end of era for me. And yeah, with 326 games, it's a lot for me to say.
So I need to understand this. You have not necessarily already left the club. There's a possibility that you might yet be involved in another capacity, not as a player. So you're still going to negotiate to see where you can fit into the system.
Obviously, yeah, because the thing is, yes, I can say that because those are the contracts. I mean, those are the talks we are having with the club to say what should we do, where is your passion, where do you want to be, where do you see yourself. Then I just want to sit and think, Willard Katsande, where is your passion in terms of football, and so forth and so forth. But at the meantime, it's not something in my head at the moment, because I have to sit down and talk to my family and try to show them where I'm coming from and where we are going. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Willard, do you feel like you were treated the way you would have liked? You've spent 10 years at the club. You are in the 300-game club. Not too many players, as you said, can say that about their careers at Kaizer Chiefs. Do you feel there was an element of unfair treatment towards you?
To be honest with you, I don't see it in that way, because obviously I see people saying certain things. But at the end of the day, sometimes you be proud and celebrate what you have achieved, what you have left behind. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to play football until we die, something like that. But I feel like the club has been good to me from day one. I remember people now, they end up trying to see that Willard was mistreated last minute. But at the end of the day, look, this club took me when I was a bench warmer, when I was nobody, and nobody even gave them a chance. And now this journey has come to an end, and people will start looking at this way to say the club was like this. I feel like, for me personally, it was fair, because we agreed, and they gave me an opportunity when everybody never gave me an opportunity, and now the relationship came to an end. I feel like the club has been even good to me from day one.
Yeah.
Now I never had any argument. I never had any problem within the club to say Willard is a problem or the club is mistreating me. But I'll be lying and I'll be ungrateful to say those kind of words, to say the club they never treated me well. I think the club treated me well, and here it was a business. Club was not doing me a favor. I was not doing the club a favor. We were business partners working together. So they don't owe me, I don't owe them. But if I get something from them, it's a benefit from me.
Yeah. Willard, you obviously were on Twitter also last night after the news broke from the club itself. And let's take a look at some of the tweets that you had to share with your followers. Some of them looking at your journey at the club. This one says, I came as a nobody, but I'm leaving as a legend. And that was obviously a reply to one of the tweets, I can say that. And then let's take a look at another one. All good things come to an end. And that is your journey at Kaizer Chiefs. What would you like, as we close it, what would you like to say to the fans who at times were pretty harsh towards you, particularly this past season, saying Katsande must go?
Obviously, my message to all the fans out there and football lovers, I know that I'm a guy who divided the attention in terms of the feelings about me, because I could hear from my kids. Because if I can tell you, my daughter and son, they are old enough to log into internet to read about what is said about their father. So my message to the supporters is like they need to be more more proud of their players, because at the end of the day, the players are working in the field to give their all, serving Kaizer Chiefs supporters with every inch of their pot. For me, I feel like with supporters, sometimes they were too harsh to me, because they were expecting me to do much. But if you are to analyzing my position as Willard Katsande, what I've offered to the team, even if in every game we win, lose or draw, you could see that this guy, you never falter my commitment. I'm always take my job serious. But at the end of the day, when the team loses and it was Katsande, they must go. Obviously now Katsande is not there. I will see what's going to be the next reaction if things doesn't go well. Because at the end of the day, we tend to give an eye to the older guys or the long-serving members to say they are the reason why we are doing this, because this guy has been there for long. But if you are to see the contribution, you could see that the contribution Katsande is putting is as good as a 23-year-old. Yeah. But because I've been there for long, so it's easy to say, Katsande this and Katsande that. Yeah. And the other thing I showed people is like my other side during lockdown. There's nothing to do with my work. Because if you could see when I was working, win, lose or draw, there's no time I was joking or laughing. Yeah. I'm not that kind of a guy. So supporters of Amakhosi going forward, let's support the team.
Let's leave it there, Willard. And I know there's a lot to say, and we'll try to talk to you sometime soon again when we've figured out exactly what your next role at the club or elsewhere is going to be. Bosi Mboka, Kitoko Makasi is Willard Katsande, former Kaizer Chiefs midfielder, might yet still be at the club in another capacity. We hear from him. And over 300 games for the club. Let's leave it here and head back to Michelle.